All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ryan here alongside Joel.
Morning.
We are Michigan Storm Chasers. Have a few updates to go over with you guys regarding today's severe weather potential. A few things with the SPC outlook from 9 a.m. this morning. If you were up for our 2 a.m. Outlook, nothing much has changed in regards to that. Go ahead and hop in there real quick. This is your marginal risk now for the entirety of the entire state, really, minus the western four counties in the UP, places like Houghton, Ironwood, not getting in on that risk. But otherwise, if you're in Michigan, you are within a level 1 out of 5 severe risk today. That encompasses the entire lower Michigan and most all of the UP. Damaging winds is still the primary concern with this. Again, exact same areas that we just mentioned. Only the western UP is excluded from this damaging wind risk today. There is a hail risk now in northern lower Michigan, as well as central and eastern parts of the UP, anywhere north of Mount Pleasant, really, north of the Tri-Cities, all the way up to Marquette, Sault Ste. Marie, Gaylord, Alpena, Traverse City. That's going to be, again, a hail risk there. And then the 2% tornadic risk has now been shifted off to our south and to our east. So no current 2% risk here in Michigan. All right. Now, the big update, the big change we're kind of seeing with this morning's model runs are interesting developments, to say the least, although we'll see if it comes to fruition. So we utilize this model here called the HRRR quite often. It's a pretty good guidance model. But for the most part, we've been kind of dry, so to speak. If we go back to last night, so I'll give you the example here. This is a morning round of showers and storms working its way out of the state. This is at 10 a.m., so about an hour ago. By 11 or about noon or so, these should be working out of the way, out of the state currently. They are out of the state, so, it looked pretty good last night. But notice here, this is at 2 p.m. this afternoon. We're dry across the entire state here. Let's go ahead and jump to the latest model guidance, the 12Z this morning. It's going to try to give us a little bit more in the way of shower activity across the state this afternoon. This is at 1 p.m. here. We see scattered showers across much of the state. And then also we zoom this forward to 2 and 3 p.m. Some of these showers perhaps may be strong on the stronger side, especially down here in southern lower. This is the 12Z. The 13Z really picked up on this. Go to the 13Z run. Right around that 3 p.m. time frame there across southern, perhaps southeastern, exclusive to southeastern Michigan, right over Ann Arbor area, Lenawee County, all the way up to about Oakland County as well. A pretty decent looking line of a little bit of a mini line, so to speak, of showers and storms here early afternoon for the southeast corner of Michigan. Now, the latest model, the 14Z that just came out, decided to just take that all away, and it leaves us completely dry, which is interesting. But I think this is going to be an interesting day to kind of monitor. We look at our NAM3 as well. That's another model that we use. The NAM3 does show the exact same thing as the 13Z HRRR. For example, go ahead and take a Michigan look here. There we go. Run this over to 3 p.m. There's your line. This NAM3 model is saying it's going to happen a bit further west here at 2 p.m. Bump that forward to 3, and it's basically over the exact same areas, about Ann Arbor down to, this one says into Ohio. But the general consensus here is development across southern lower is possible through the early afternoon hours. So between now and we're going to say 4 or 5 p.m. So we're going to call them pop-ups possible. Joel's working on a timing map right now. He'll be posting that once again on the page sometime between now and probably 1 o'clock, where he's going to finalize that. But right now, if you live in southeast lower Michigan, or just southern lower in general, around 94, Lansing, Flint, South, you guys need to be aware this afternoon for pop-ups that potentially may be strong to severe. Now, the one thing I want to point out with these, with this forecast here for southeast lower, one other thing I want to mention is the RFS model does show one single cell over the Washtenaw County area as well at 3 p.m. So I just want to highlight that as well. So 3 models here picking up on that. But I do want to mention that the latest model, HRRR 14Z, doesn't show anything happening. Just want to highlight that. But we do think the potential is there, given the latest guidance. But also, if we were to go back here to the HRRR off the 13Z at about 3 o'clock, we take a forecast x-ray of the atmosphere here. There is some turning in the lowest levels of the atmosphere up here with your photograph. There is enough curvature there to kind of think we may get a little bit of perhaps damaging wind, but also a little bit of weak rotation possible with these storms. Not thinking of any big tornado risk, but we're going to watch it closely just because we do have some curvature there in the lowest levels of the atmosphere. But a few other things are lacking to really kind of warrant the mention of anything, too big in the way of tornadic happening. So just want to mention that if these storms do go up, the lingering shear we have from this morning is just hanging on just a bit there. It'll be a very brief window for anything, if anything does happen. All right. So that's your forecast for southeast lower. If we go ahead and take a peek up here toward northern lower for later on this evening, we're going to see those cells right around 5, 6 o'clock here. Well, earlier for the UP, about 3 o'clock for the UP, about 5 to 6 for the lower peninsula. We're going to see some decent looking cells here. I'll go ahead and take a zoomed in look here for you again, just for those of you who live here in lower Michigan. There we go. Here we go. Here is 6 to 7 p.m. We see these pretty nasty looking cells coming on shore by Traverse City. Also down toward the Manistee area, we have some showers popping up as well. Those will progress east-southeastward through the evening. That's going to carry your damaging wind as well as a hail risk up there in northwestern lower Michigan. Second round should stay north of I-96, which is from Flint over to Lansing and north. These evening, the models for this evening do show that the activity does stay pretty much north of 96. So if you're south 96, your chances of dry weather tonight are higher. But again, your chances for some stormy activity this afternoon does increase. We do see some pop-up cells now in Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch County trying to get going, but they're just don't have the fuel, I guess, yet. Look at the radar over here to my left. I'm seeing some pop-ups there around St. Joseph and Branch. So we'll watch those. Those would be what we kind of keep an eye on moving towards southeast lower here. But overall, nothing really changed for northwest lower. Right around 6, 7 p.m. Maybe earlier in the UP as well. Damaging winds, large hail up there, your primary concerns. And we'll be live covering any severe that occurs anywhere in the state today. So that's your updated forecast, guys. Just wanted to pop on there. I know we said last night that the afternoon should be dry for the majority of us, and it still will be, minus the exception of perhaps southeast lower if that line of storms can get up and going. And again, it's a little bit uncertain if it will, but we have 3 models saying that it will. But the latest 14Z says, nothing. So we'll have to kind of see and play that by ear to figure out what's going to happen this afternoon. So,
and Ryan, the timing map just was released. I just released it.
Okay, cool. So go to the Facebook page. I'll see if I can pull that into the stream here real quick.
Yeah, pull it as a pop-up.
Yep. But if you guys want to see that, go to our Facebook page. It'll be posted there as well. Is it pinned?
It's also on X if you guys don't have Facebook. If you're watching on just YouTube and don't have a Facebook account, it's also on X, or Twitter, I guess you could call it. That is MI Storm Chasers. And again, you guys have to remember that today is a marginal risk day, so it's a level 1 of 5 on the severity scale. So while the risk for severe is there, it is very marginal in nature. So not everyone will see severe and not everyone will see a storm. So just how it is on a marginal risk day.
So here is your updated timing map for you. 3 to 6 in blue up in there in the UP. Right around 6 o'clock for the shoreline of northwestern lower Michigan, 6 to 9 in the purple area. The black area is when those storms will traverse into the Thumb region, as well as Tri-Cities, 9 to 12 tonight. And then we highlighted, or not we, Joel highlighted, a pop-up zone about 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. in southeastern lower Michigan, which is what we're kind of keying in here with the only really change with the forecast. So feel free to screenshot this. We'll leave it up here about 10 more seconds, take it back down. And again, you can find this on our Facebook page as well as our X/Twitter page. Yes, Jordan, Alpina's in the 6 to 9.
Yep. And the forecasts remain pretty much unchanged, with the exception of, I don't know if I had 4 to 6 earlier on the blue zone or not on the timing graphic from last night, but either way, it's 3-6 now. Could start a little bit earlier, especially for central and western UP. Ran the western edge of that marginal risk there. So you could see storms in Marquette probably as early as 1 or 2, but they won't probably be severe per se. So again, the upper peninsula risk and northern lower risk hasn't really changed much in terms of how far south it's supposed to sag. It's going to be a little bit further north, we think. And then, again, with the morning stuff on its way out, there's really no more risk for Southern Michigan today, except for the chance for pop-ups. As Ryan was just pointing out, in between model runs here, they keep saying yes and no at the same time. So we put them on the map as precaution that pop-ups can and may happen from 12 to 7 in Southern Michigan today.
I do want to mention there as well, Joel, we do have some showers that have tried to get going over the past about half hour. So if we go ahead and back this up, we'll see a little bit more of a robust, I guess I can't back it up that far, but the Branch County cell did look a little bit more robust about 30 minutes ago. So we'll keep an eye on those. There's going to come into a better environment here as it destabilizes. But that'll be the area, I think, to watch as it moves towards southeastern lower here next hour or so. This is your live radar, by the way. Looking around the state, just some pop-ups there across southern lower. Grand Rapids is clear. Detroit is now clear. Gaylord area is clear, minus some showers up there toward the tip. And then the UP is currently clear. Yeah, weather can change like this all the time. This is not uncommon. Wake up and the model show something that didn't show last night. It's common.
Blue Angels are in Traverse City today. That's cool. Model run's really picking up on consistent storm action around and after about 5:30.
There's the cell impacting Traverse City about 7 p.m. tonight. So
yeah.
We do have Alex in Traverse City. So we'll have a correspondent in the field up there. Should Traverse City be severe?
Yep.
I don't know who else is chasing today.
Instability right now is upwards of 2,500 to 3,000 joules per kilogram in the southwest corner of the state. Elsewhere, and pretty much all across southern Michigan right now, it's anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000.
We can take a peek at real-time data too.
Yeah. And again, with the dew points being extremely high, they're already up to like 72, 73 here in the Grand Rapids area. It's going to also just infuel instability a little bit more. So again, we can't rule out the threat for some pop-up storms throughout the day. Will they be severe? We'll see as the day goes on. But again, with a lot of instability out there, they can go severe, especially for damaging winds on a moment's notice.
Here's your real-time data. Should be displayed there. It is cool. So your surface instability is already growing here across Michigan. Just taking a sample here with these storms in southeast lower. We already have about 1,000 mixed-layer cape there, which is your upper-level cape. About 2,000 surface-based cape already growing there. It's not even noon yet. Looked at indice at 4.3. Got some pretty good shear there too, Joel.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on those. If anything develops there in southern lower, it's going to be a brief window, but a window to watch for sure. But then also your downdraft cape is something to watch too. The area of higher downdraft cape for downburst, microburst, damaging wind threat is pushing into the state here. So then the 2 to 4 hour forecast looks like it's going to push across much of the central lower Michigan as well. So your wind shear right now does look pretty decent there. It's across much of the entire state there. And then your spin should be pretty much nil, which it is about 100 or so, 100 or less, which is it's not very high.
Instability just basically means fuel for storms. It's measured in joules per kilogram. Yeah. Brain fart for a second. And again, not everyone will see storms today, especially in the evening hours. That the timing app we just showed you, those evening hours will be a little tricky because it's supposed to be isolated nature. Again, with a little bit of a capping inversion going on too. So that 3 to midnight time frame. Not everyone in those zones will get storms today, but those who do may see strong to severe. And again, with the pop-ups as well, it's kind of the same story there. Not everyone in the zone will see storms, but the best favorable conditions for severe are in that orange zone down there in Southeast Michigan throughout the afternoon and into the early evening hours.
Just want to point out as well, it's going to be humid and probably hot out there today. So stay hydrated, guys. It shouldn't last. It's not going to last. It's not going to be prolonged. Tomorrow will be very pleasant, but today will be oppressive. Dew points are already in the 70s across Michigan, so that's very, very moist.
And again, if you just missed the timing map, it is up on our Facebook and our Twitter page, MI Storm Chasers. Yes, it is a meteorology word. We can say that.
So I see a lot of questions here about specific locations. So Joel just reiterated that these people in the threat today, which is basically the entire state minus the western half of the UP, there's a risk there today. So it doesn't matter if you live in Detroit, Gaylord, Grand Rapids, Berrien County, all the way up to Alpena, you're in a risk today. All right. Damaging winds is your primary concern. Large hail is a concern further north towards that Roscommon Gaylord area right there, these colored areas up in the UP. Overall, though, damaging winds should be the primary concern. Not everyone will see a storm today, but the environment does favor severe weather if storms occur for you. So the risk is there statewide.
And you can kind of see that that hail risk lines up with the evening timing map too.
Yep. So storms will develop somewhere right along this area here. It'll push southeastward, and it's pretty well aligned there. So, but yeah, there's not one location right now in Michigan that has a higher risk than anything else. The environment is pretty much the same across the entire state.
Tomorrow will be fine. Today's kind of our one day of severe this weekend. Tomorrow we'll have the humidity will pretty much just be gone. We'll have a cold front swoop through. We're looking at lows in the 40s, I believe, for Sunday night and a Monday, actually, or Monday night and a Tuesday, potentially. So it'll feel really cool out there.
A much needed break from all this heat and humidity of the past week. Mm-hmm. This week wasn't too bad, but last week was.
I say a little slice of fall in the middle of summer here.
Yes, Madison, brown does mean 5%. That's your 5% hail risk there. Technically, it's 5 to 14% to be exact, but we call it 5%. And then also your categorical risk is the marginal, which caps itself at 5% across the board. So. And there is no risk from the SPC for anything tornadic in the state today. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen via lake breeze boundary, storm mergers, or perhaps southern, southeastern lower with that wind shear still hanging on just a bit as those storms potentially will fire up right around 3 p.m. Those would be probably the highest concern for anything tornadic, but still that highest concern is capped pretty low, if that makes sense. Reagan, that's a good question. Overall, we're not seeing anything for like damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. So mobile homes should be fine today. Mobile homes are rated to withstand right around 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, but anything over that, it becomes a concern. So we're not thinking anything, what we call significant severe is going to happen today, which is anything over 70 mile per hour winds.
Yeah.
Or 2-inch hail. So
it won't be like it was a couple days ago.
Right.
But shout out Lowell. Represent.
The sun is out in South Central. It is out at my house too.
It's crazy. It's cloudy here in the Lowell area. A little bit. Sun's trying to peek out.
Are tents rated for 60-mile-per-hour winds? I don't think they are. No. Talking like a camping tent or talking like a big, party type tent? Either way, I don't think they're rated. Mm-mm. Yeah, don't rely on your weather apps for future radar, please. We can go over future radar again with the latest model. 15Z is actually coming out. Joel might be interesting to see what this says. So going back here to the 13Z, what we're kind of looking at is this particular line right around 2 p.m., right around that Jackson up to Livingston County area. That pushes eastward here. That's the main concern for this afternoon. Latest model on the 14Z didn't really show much anything happening with that, but the NAM 3 model and also the RFS model does show a few things popping up as well. So it's an area to watch. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Just means we're going to watch it just in case. And then evening, there's south northwestern lower. That's going to be popping off right around that 7 p.m. time frame in northwestern lower, earlier in the UP. But again, not everybody will see a storm today, and not every storm will be severe. So there's a chance across the entire state if storms pop up that they may become severe. It's just the overall coverage of storms should be pretty much confined to certain areas. So I see a lot of specific comments about Alpena, Flint. Like there's so many comments rolling in about specific locations. And the best we can tell you here is the entire state really isn't a risk today if storms can pop up. But right now, 2 areas of concern would be the highest would be southeastern or really southern lower from early afternoon into later afternoon. And then this evening in the UP and also northwestern lower. Those are the 2 main areas of concern. So if you're like Grand Rapids, Lansing, Flint, you're kind of in the middle of both zones. So if any places today are going to miss out, the chances are higher in the central part of the state. But still, if storms can fire up, they do have that shot to be severe. So hence the statewide risk. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kevin, for gifting 5 memberships to us, or to not to us, but to our subscribers here on YouTube. Appreciate your support for us. Thank you, Kevin.
As always. You're awesome. Again, if you guys aren't subscribed on YouTube, you have a chance to get a gifted membership when people do gift. So, again, thank you, Kevin.
I see a comment here about the cold front rolling through. So we're going to take a look at our moisture here, why it's so oppressive outside. These purples and darker blues, I guess you can call them aquas almost, teals. I don't even know what you call that color. But all it indicates is just really moist
cyan.
Air. What?
Cyan.
Anyway, I didn't even know. Is that actually what it is?
Yeah, pretty sure. Dark blue.
Okay.
Call it navy.
We're going to call it cyan then. So these purples and cyan colors, that just sounds so weird to say. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that moist air is going to be really firmly grasped over southeast or southern lower here, but it's a moist environment across the entire state. Although that cold front comes through, can you find the cold front? It's pretty easy to spot. There goes our moisture, and there comes our pleasant weather for tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon and evening. So tomorrow will be very pleasant, less humid. Pretty good day tomorrow. If you got plans outside, parties, grill outs, tomorrow's gonna be dry and pleasant. So enjoy it.
Should check out the temperature loop as well.
So there's your 80s today, low 80s, mid 80s, and then that's gonna be 50s overnight tonight, and then tomorrow morning will stay roughly right around mid to upper 60s, I would assume. Mm-hmm. So, going to be a pleasant day.
Yep.
Thank you, Rosie, for becoming a channel member. Appreciate your support of the channel.
Welcome to the team, Rosie. Thank you for your support.
The highest winds expected today are 60 miles per hour. Shouldn't see anything too higher than that. Cold fronts happen all the time, so people get sick. People sensitive to pressure changes perhaps could have some headaches. With the cold front approaching. But these types of systems happen all the time. Nothing new here, so it's not that vast of a difference.
I get a new meso update here in about 5 minutes. And for those who are just joining us, this is the timing map for today. Again, we're expecting some pop-ups in the 12 to 7 time frame for mainly southeastern Michigan. Pop-ups can happen anywhere, of course, but we're thinking the best threat or best chances for pop-ups will be in southeast Michigan throughout the afternoon and evening. And then we have storms moving in with a cold front after 3 to 6 in the UP, and then as it moves into northern lower, it'll be 6 to 9, and if they can stay together, 9 to 12 over in the Thumb and Tri-Cities area as well. Again, this map can be found over on our Twitter and our Facebook page, MI Storm Chasers or Michigan Storm Chasers, whatever one you want to search, it will be there. So in case you missed it, it will be there for you. We're potentially watching a system for perhaps sometime next weekend as well, but no specifics on that yet.
Yeah, I saw a comment here for July 3rd, July 4th, should I say. We're kind of watching that time frame closely, but it's too far out to get specific. It's literal EU outside right now. That is a good way to put it, Julie. Good way to put it.
Allen County, again, you guys aren't in any of those circled time frames, but again, pop-ups still can happen outside of the zones. Again, we're just focusing in on where the best chance of pop-ups will happen. Pop-ups can happen anytime today in any part of the state, given that, as you see here on the screen, anywhere is in the marginal risk.
SPC breakdown, we can do that, Dawn. So this is your marginal risk here. It encompasses the entire state, only excluding the western 4 counties of the UP. Otherwise, you're going to risk today. The breakdown of that will be damaging winds as your primary concern across, again, the entire state. And then large hail concerns would be confined to northern, lower, and also central and eastern parts of the UP. There is currently no tornadic risk in the state. We're going to watch anything forming in southeastern lower here in the next about 2 to 3 hours. It's a brief window. That would be the only window that we see for anything rotational wise. That chance is low. So marginal risk is in place. SPC will update in 15 minutes. Any changes that happen will be posted on our page, or if we're still live in 15 minutes, we can just go ahead and wait. I don't know.
I'm fine with that. I mean, usually briefings go an hour anyways sometimes.
So if you guys want to hang out with us and talk about weather and such, we'll pull up the SPC stuff here and we'll monitor that real quick behind the scenes. How about the monitor?
Billy Joe Murphy, welcome to the channel here, MSC. Appreciate your support. Welcome to the team. Hope you stick around. And Angelina has upped her membership for another month here. Hello, everyone. Loving the school down. MSC rocks. Thank you, Angelina, for your very nice comment there. And we appreciate your support here at MSC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Saw a comment earlier. Why am I green? And that's because we're in a marginal risk.
If you're physically green, we can't do anything about that. But severe, yes. Again, the chances that your Futurecast radar on your apps, again, low resolution, so they're not going to be showing like the specifics and stuff like the HRRR do. But again, we're expecting isolated nature today, so they'll be kind of just here and there and all over the place across the state, but more associated with a linear kind of motion as that system or that that cold front swings down from the northwest from the UP. But again, that line is also expected to be broken. So you might have the classic case of today where, oh, there's a storm to my north, there's a storm to my south, and there's nothing coming at me. So that can happen today.
I will say I've been kind of keeping track of when people are saying, hey, my weather app says this, my weather app says that. Weather Underground has been consistently showing in the forecast here. It says a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, but also says gusty winds and small hail are also possible. So Weather Underground seems to be a pretty good app to at least alert you guys in the summary forecast that there could be some severe or some perhaps strong storms coming. So yeah, don't trust weather apps outside temperature predictions for like severe stuff like that. Don't trust them.
Ryan has green lights in his room. True.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually a it's like bluish gray. It's not green. It's gray. Yes, Dawn, we will go live anytime severe is in the States. So this is your first time watching us. We are people who chase these storms all across Michigan. We also hop on radar and track these storms and let you guys know what's looking concerning, whether it's via damaging winds, large hail, tornadoes. We'll be here live streaming to Facebook and YouTube every single severe and tornado warning here in the state of Michigan. We're here covering it 24/7, 365. So feel free to smash the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button on Facebook. We are on Facebook, Twitter, /X, as well as YouTube. So feel free to give us a follow.
And Instagram and TikTok, but everyone's saying Ryan has a cyan hue now.
I'm about to just change this color altogether. I'm about to just change it to white or red or something.
Yeah.
I swear it's green. Yes, that's what we're waiting on there, Armored. SPC will come out in about 14 minutes or so. And that's what we're kind of waiting on here. So now's the time. You guys got questions for us? Feel free to drop them in chat. There's your timing map for the day. Feel free to screenshot that for future use, later use today.
Yep.
The only real change. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, no, I know there's people coming in and out, and they're wondering timing for this, timing for that. Again, if we knew exactly when and where, exact time of the day your place is going to get hit, there'd be no need for us. But again, we give you the chances of. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, the general window of when we could expect storms.
Yeah. And again, like we keep advertising, not everyone will get a severe storm today, and not everyone will get a storm in general, given that the storm modes will be isolated in nature. So that means you could have storms right down the street from you, but you'll, come away from it unscathed in terms of precipitation or storms.
You nerds got me hooked on weather. Just installed a home weather station this week. There you go. Which one did you get? Yeah, the sun being out today is fueling the atmosphere, so to speak. So more sun equals more instability. Same here, Ryan. Same here. Got the WD2902. I love it.
Nothing wrong with being a nerd. Wear that label. I know I do.
I think we all do here on staff.
Yeah. A couple more comments about Southeast Michigan, Pontiac, Rochester Hills. Again, that's going to be 7 or 12 to 7 pop-ups possible.
Not really seeing a tornadic risk, Blake. If anything were to try to rotate, it'd be with the first line between now and right around that late afternoon time frame in southern Michigan. But the chance of that happening is really low.
And days like today, we also look at our slim, which we have been doing. Pop up the graphic here, Ryan, for that. So it's our shear, lift, instability, and moisture, or slim as we like to call it. Shear is your change in winds with height and direction. And we are seeing that a little bit out there today, but more so in the form of speed shear. So that's kind of just weaker winds at the surface. The further up you get in the atmosphere, the stronger the winds become. So up there in the jet stream, there's a little bit of turning, as Ryan mentioned here earlier in the broadcast. So can't rule out a tornado possibly, but again, the chances of a tornado are lower than 2%. Lift is out. It's out there today, especially if you're closer to the low center. You're going to get a lot more of that lift, and that's going to be possible up there today in the UP, where the low is north of the Lake Superior. And again, because you have a cold front, that is also another source of lift today. And so we have more lift coming with that cold front and those storms coming in after 3 p.m. Instability, we have a lot of that out there today. And instability and moisture are kind of going hand in hand today because with a lot of moisture, you get the temperatures being very high. And then that very quick change in lapse rates as you get up in the atmosphere, that's going to allow for a lot of cape on a skew T. You'd see it visually if we could show you, but it's in between a dash line and the temperature line. Usually if it's very thick, then you see a lot of cape. But yeah, so instability, moisture are kind of coupled together. There are a lot of it out there today. And you guys know for sure it's already humid out there, 70-degree dew points. So a lot of instability, a lot of moisture. The lift and shear components, though, are lacking just a tad. So that's why it is more marginal in nature today. And again, that humidity will go away tomorrow.
Saw a question here. Do solar flares charge up the storms that pop up? There is no correlation to space weather and pop-up storms. I know a lot of you guys have graduation parties and just overall stuff going on today. The best we can tell you guys, the entire state minus Western UP is an severe risk today. The environment is favorable for that, but not everybody will see a storm. The two main areas to watch are southeastern lower and also northwestern lower. I know it's pretty broad, but with days like today, pop-ups can become severe. Damaging winds is your primary concern, and large hail is your concern further to the north and also in the UP. There's your hail risk, and then here is your damaging wind risk.
Yep. At this point, we're waiting for this new SPC outlook that you're looking at your screen to come out. That, again, that releases in about 8 minutes. So we may see a little bit of change depending on what the SPC is calling for.
Yeah, we try to be specific, but with weather, like specifics are often not known. Like if we knew where, when, and what, there wouldn't be a need for us or meteorologists or forecasters.
Yep.
So there's always going to be some unknown associated with forecasting and weather in general.
Yeah, we're here for the probabilities.
Needs to be on a shirt. I'm only here for probabilities.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can't control the weather. Sorry.
Flat Rock Speedway. So what time? If we're talking like later on this evening, you may be okay. Again, pop-ups are possible across the state, but the later you go into the evening for southeast lower, the drier it looks. I casually changed to blue and no one noticed.
I did, but I didn't say anything.
About 5 minutes to the SPC outlook is due. No, that slight risk does not clip Monroe County. It is close, though. It is close.
25 miles. Within
Yeah,
25 miles.
If you want to be specific, and technically you could drag that line 25 miles north and west, Monroe County will be included. So, yeah, you could say it's included. So the probability at least is there. Can you tell us what the colors are? The legend is too small. So we can actually zoom into the legend. So the colors coordinate to the risk levels. So dark green is your lowest risk, level 1. The light green is just general thunderstorms, non-severe. So your dark green, yellow, orange, red, and pinks are your severe risks. So all that is basically saying is the dark green area correlates to a marginal risk. And then level 2 is slight risk there in yellow. You see it down there in Ohio. And what those mean, we actually have a graphic for that. What those mean, oops, not that one, this one. If you want to screenshot this, I don't want to read it all, but what it means basically today for Michigan is isolated severe storms are possible. They should be limited in duration and coverage and intensity. We get to the slight risk, it should be short-lived, not widespread. Isolated intense storms are possible, though. And then enhanced risk is when you get those numerous storms, severe storms possible, more persistent, widespread, few intense. Then moderate and high risks are designated for very high-end events that we don't rarely get here in Michigan. Once a year or once every 2 years or so, we'll get a moderate risk or so. So it's not very often you see a red or even pink. The last pink category we had, last high risk, was November 17th, 2013. So almost 11 years ago. So every SPC map that we utilize will have those colors. So it's important to know where you are on the map and what color coordinates to your location.
The time map you see on your screen can be found on X and Facebook. Feel free to follow us over there if you haven't. Again, pop-ups are possible outside the orange zone for Southeast Michigan. It's just where we think the best chance of pop-ups will happen. So just because Southwest Michigan is not in any category does not mean you're not going to get storms. So keep that in mind. Woke up today and the forecast threw us a little fun for Southern Michigan. And then it didn't.
Yes, the Facebook memberships do give you a discount. I believe it's 20% off. It is 20% off. Yes, we are, Detroit Legend. 2 minutes until it's due. If any major changes, we'll go over those with you guys. No real big change with the 15Z latest model guidance. Still says southeast will get perhaps a storm or two. But some pop-ups there close to southeast there, Joel, about 8 p.m. tonight. Just off to our south and east. So keep an eye on that.
That's why I put 12 to 7.
Yeah.
So I saw that line in Ohio and Indiana kind of scooting a little close in the evening hours. I'm like, eh.
Looks like Ohio has some severe going on up by Cleveland.
Someone's wondering about Eastern UP. If you want to zoom out of the that sector.
Eastern UP, right about 3 o'clock or so, we see pop-ups in Central. Those will push east-southeast, reaching the Eastern UP by about 4 or 5 o'clock. And that would contain damaging winds and large hail as your primary concerns.
Correct. A couple of the comments in here asking about storm coverage and intensity. So again, not everyone will see severe. Not everyone will see storm. It's just the nature of the storms today being isolated.
I see a comment in here asking about what we consider southeast lower. So southeast really, at least for me personally, is kind of like this whole area.
I would say the same except for south of 69. I consider the thumb eastern Michigan.
Yeah, the further north you go, I can see that. But southeast Michigan, really just anywhere you could say probably, to be exact, probably south of 69, which is right here. And then east of 69 again, which is right here. But some people do include that thumb area as well. SPC is late, officially.
Here's your radar across the state right now. Again, not too much in the way of storms. There's a couple showers starting to pop up, though, in Cass and St. Joseph, as well as Kalamazoo and Eaton counties. You can see here, down here in southern Michigan. Updraft strength. Pretty much not sustaining right now, except for this one shower here heading towards Constantine. Again, where these storms are located are in the best belt of instability, as we want to call it. So we'll have to keep an eye on these storms as they progress off to the east and northeast. And again, we will go live for severe if severe happens. But once we're done here with the SPC outlook, we will hop off for a little bit, regroup, and get ready for potentially coverage later this afternoon.
SPC should be coming out any minute.
Are we really going to have this debate? The thumb is up north. Are you kidding?
No. We'll shut that down right now. It is not up north.
Oof, yeah.
No.
The real up north is technically the UP, although for a lot of people, obviously if you live in northern lower, that is true for you guys, but most of the population of Michigan lives Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit, and the official start of up north by majority is about US 10. So once you get to Clare, that's about the average for up north. Some people say a little bit further north than that, but the state average is US 10.
Do we need to put a poll out? Because we can do a poll. SPC just released the day one. I clicked the wrong button. There we go. There we go. So SPC is just updated. Wait for it to pop in on this website. Unfortunately, we can't get the zoomed in looks until about 15 minutes after it's released because it takes a little bit to translate data. Does not appear to be any change. There's your latest day one. No change to the categorical risk. We remain in a marginal for almost the entire state minus the western half of the UP. We'll wait for the hazards to pop in to see if they change anything with that. There's your last tornadic risk. It was shifted out of the state.
We'll wait for the new one here to pop in momentarily. Got to reload it a few times. It'll pop in eventually. Wind as well, and then hail. We're waiting on these to update. So that's your latest day one. Still no tornadic risk in the state. They say it's going to be confined over to Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York areas. So no change with the tornadic risk. Let's go ahead and wait for hail and wind to pop in. Hail is not updated yet. Now there has wind. So wait a few more seconds. Yeah, Julie, they did. Just because look on radar at Cleveland area, you're seeing severe storms currently pushing just to the east of Cleveland. So that's why a slight risk is trimmed back.
Technically, I think everywhere is outside of the 25 miles within a slight today now for Michigan since it's been trimmed.
Indeed.
But solidly marginal.
The hail risk remains for the exact same areas. It looks like I copy pasted this. Although I will say there's a hail risk now bordering Indiana there, down by Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties. So have to keep an eye down there for potential hail risk if anything else pop up down there. And then wind risk looks to be, I'm going to assume the same. Just because the entire risk here didn't change. So we've got to pop in officially, which it has not yet, but it should be no change to that. So no change to the SPC outlook today. Marginal risk remains for a majority of us. And again, timing map one more time for you guys before we hop out of here. Pop it up on the screen here. Feel free to screenshot this if you need. It's also posted on Twitter and Facebook. So feel free to hop over there and take a peek if you need to. But overall timing today is as followed. 3 to 6 in the blue circle, 6 to 9 p.m. in the purple, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. in the black, and then now to roughly 7 p.m. this evening for the yellow circle. With that being said, I think we're about out of here, Joel.
Yeah, I would say so. We'll hop back in as needed.
All right. We'll hop over into our coverage stream and start monitoring radar and prepare ourselves to go live in case of anything severe in the day. So feel free to tune in. We'll be live potentially later on today. So you guys stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated. We have a nice day coming up tomorrow, but we got to get through today first.
Yep. Have a good day,
guys.
everybody.
Yep. We'll see you guys later.